Oh, my sound just came back when Milan came on. Oh, I haven't been looking at the comments. My sound was off. Jeez. All right, AC Milan is going to play. Thank you, whoever pointed out the sound is off. Milan plays Tottenham. This was the draw we wanted. Antonio Conte's Tottenham, not the best form right now. Milan will take Tottenham. Of all the teams, no disrespect to Tottenham, they're a great freaking team. They're not an easy team to beat. We don't want to take any of the Premier League sides lightly. But if there's any team that Milan wanted, it was Porto or Tottenham. And my preference was Tottenham. Eintracht Frankfurt goes next. My preference was Tottenham mostly because they haven't been in the best form. They're being managed by Antonio Conte. There's a familiarity there with the coaching style. So for Milan to get Tottenham, and for whoever pointed out that mic was off, to let me know, I appreciate it. We made it in time. Well, I missed the first three. My only comment was Liverpool versus Real Madrid was a good roundup. Frankfurt plays Napoli. Napoli will be happy with this. The former Europa League winners from last season, Eintracht Frankfurt, plays Serie A's leaders, Napoli. I mean, I think you got to say it. You have to give this one to Napoli. Frankfurt's going to have a hard time. The form that Napoli's in right now, who knows what's going to happen in February, but they're going to have a hard time. Borussia Dortmund is up next. No audio. We cannot hear you. You're muted. We cannot. Oh, yeah. My bad, guys. Sorry. I didn't realize. I got too excited. I woke up at 5:50, 5:45. Got ready to set up all this in 10 minutes. I didn't think I was going to go live because, man, it's 6 a.m. here in Canada. East side of Canada. Dortmund plays Chelsea. All right. That's a tricky draw for Chelsea. Considering the fact that they won the group, they would have liked something a little bit, maybe... a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but something a little bit less challenging. Like, with all due respect, Frankfurt, Brugge would have been a little bit easier. They end up with Dortmund. Inter Milan. The third Serie A side in the Champions League round of 16. Inter Milan. Porto. FC Porto. By default, they play Porto. So this is a side that Milan would have preferred to have played too. But we're not. Inter's playing them. They're still coming back to Milan. PSG plays... Who's left? What am I missing here? Let's go. Let's go, Bayern. Let's go, Bayern. Let's go, Bayern. That's a matchup. Let's go, Bayern. All right, that's the draw. Well, I woke up for this. 5:45. They did it pretty quick. Come on, man. At least let me make a longer video. All right, so RB Leipzig plays Manchester City. What can we say about that? Comment section, guys. Let me know. Who do you think is going to pull this off? I want to see the full bracket. I don't think they do the bracket till the quarterfinals, I guess. That's when you actually find out what's going on. As to who's going to go next and which team are they going to face next. So I guess there's no February 14th and then March 14th. I believe are the dates. All right, let's just go through these. This is pretty good. That's the draw. RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. City at this point in time, guys, as I highlighted in my my roundup of my predictions that I've made for the group stage. Leipzig versus Manchester City was Man City are the favorites right now to win the Champions League. Where's my phone? If I could grab my phone. My phone's a little too far from me. But let me try and go over here and check out the the odds right now as to who's expected to win the Champions League. I don't know if they will update the odds right away when something like this happens, but Man City were the favorites to win the Champions League when this started. Bayern Munich were number 2. PSG were number 3. So RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. I'm going to give this one to Manchester City. They are, probably my favorites to win this all. You got Club Brugge and Benfica. So let me know in the comment section, Leipzig versus City. Who's your pick? Brugge versus Benfica. Brugge versus Benfica is interesting. I'm going to give this one to... I'll give it to Benfica. More experience. The Portuguese side just has something to them. They were in a difficult group with Juventus and PSG, and they made it through. No disrespect to Club Brugge. They also, got out of the group with Atletico Madrid there, but Madrid hasn't been in the best form in general. So I'm going to give this one to Benfica. Liverpool, Real Madrid, the Champions League final rematch from 2019. Loris Karius with those, was that his name? Those mistakes that he made. Gareth Bale with the goal from long distance. Gareth Bale with that bicycle kick goal too in that same game. Ronaldo's, I believe, last Champions League title. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. This is tricky. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, guys. Who do you think, Liverpool or Real Madrid? You kind of have to go with Madrid. They're perennial Champions League finalists over the past 10 years. So, odds favorite, I would say Liverpool, Madrid. I'm going to give this to Madrid, unless Liverpool can really fix their form by February time. Milan, Tottenham. Let's talk about this one. Okay, so of all the draws, of all the teams that Milan could have played, I think Tottenham, Porto, maybe Benfica, these were some of the ones that Milan fans did prefer to play. And for us to not end up with a Bayern or with a Real Madrid, for us to end up with a Premier League side that hasn't been playing their best football this season, a lot of question marks around their coach Antonio Conte. Even yesterday's match, who did they play? They played, who were they playing? They played Liverpool yesterday. I was watching that game. And, they have some injuries too, to be fair to them. So right now, Milan having gotten the experience, having played a Premier League side already, to go back and play another Premier League side in Tottenham, a team that they will fancy themselves against. Obviously, I'm going to have to go with Milan. I'm never going to pick against Milan. So for me, it's Milan. Frankfurt versus Napoli. Sorry, Frankfurt. I mean, they are the Europa League winners from last season. They're a good team. They made it through their group alongside Tottenham. But Napoli are vibrating on a different frequency this season, guys. Kavica, Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, these guys, their attack, their gameplay in general this season has been fantastic under Spalletti. They're top of the Serie A group. They were undefeated throughout the entirety of the season almost before they lost to Liverpool. So I'm going to give this one to Napoli. They have to be the ones. Dortmund versus Chelsea. Oh, this one's a tricky one. Because Chelsea had a good start under Graham Potter, but I think things are unraveling there quick. I don't know how good that team's going to be. I think they had a luck of playing some relatively easier games. They played AC Milan in the Champions League, but that was not Milan. We had 4 starters missing. We still have most of those starters missing. So, yes, they won, but that wasn't... I can't look at that win and say that, oh, that's the most difficult win. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through your comments here. So, that's what I would say about Dortmund versus Dortmund versus Chelsea. Sorry, I'm just trying to see your comments at the same time here. So Chelsea under Graham Potter right now, they're stuttering a little bit. They have, I think, lost or not picked up a win from 4 straight games in the Premier League. They had a good run initially. They beat, I think, the Wolves 3-0 in one of the games, but they didn't even have a coach. Milan had 4 injuries. In the second leg, Milan had a red card for Tomori in the 19th minute for no reason. So yeah, you won those games, but now things are unraveling there pretty quick. So between Dortmund and Chelsea, if Chelsea stays the way they are, I'm giving this to Dortmund. And by the way, if you guys want to check my predictions, go into my channel and check out my reaction to my group stage predictions. I might know what I'm talking about here. I mean, I got surprising amounts right. I don't know if I would do it again. I would pick these teams right, but I got out of 16, I got almost 16 right. So, Inter versus Porto. Wow, this is a tough one too. Seeing how Inter played yesterday against Juventus and the way that they lost against Juventus. I don't know. Against Barcelona at the San Siro, they had a little bit of a favorable match. The referee helped them a little bit. I have to say it. Not hating on Inter, but they did. Barcelona could have picked up more from that game. You would hope that they can beat Porto, though. You would. And I have a hard time picking against Serie A sides. I think if Inter can fix their coaching issues, what they're going through right now in the big games, maybe Inter would pick this one up. I'll just favor Inter here. Yeah, I'll favor Inter. I think Benfica is the trickier draw from Portugal, not Porto. Porto is beatable. And this one is the big one. Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. Here's the thing. I don't know if the odds makers are going to change it, as I already mentioned. Number 1 was Man City to win the Champions League. Guys, number 2 was Bayern Munich in the bookmakers' favorites. And number 3 was PSG. We're having a freaking Champions League final worthy game in PSG versus Bayern in the round of 16. That's perfect for us. Sorry if I'm yelling at certain points. I can see the red bar kind of going a little high. That's perfect for us viewers, for us neutrals. And here's the thing. I'll be honest. The way that PSG is built up, the way that PSG took our Thiago Silva, took our Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then Leonardo came in. He didn't take Donnarumma, but Donnarumma decided to go there. I would love nothing more than for Bayern to beat the out of PSG. That would be beautiful to watch. This is perfect. Bayern is the team. After Man City, they're the team to win the Champions League. So PSG versus Bayern, I'm going with Bayern for sure. All right, now let me see in the comment section what you guys are saying. Inter will beat Porto. Porto or yes, I kind of take that. I agree with that. Porto or Spurs were the teams I wanted. Got Spurs and they're beatable. Yes, for Milan fans, Spurs were the team that we would have been happy with. If you look at the comment section after I put out my reaction to my picks, that's basically what we said. No, sorry, after the review of Milan Salzburg, this is what we were saying. That won't be too bad for Milan. Hold on, let me just switch screens so you guys can see the comments here. Let me increase the size of these comments a little bit just so you guys can read them while I go through them. Frankfurt did win the Europa League last year. They're not a pushover. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. When the draw came, the draw came out for the Champions League, and Tottenham and Frankfurt were in the same group, I picked Tottenham and Frankfurt to go through, mostly because of that reason. What you just said is Frankfurt are no pushover side. But hold on, I already, guys, it's freaking 6 a.m. here. I already forgot who are they playing. Oh yeah, Frankfurt's playing Napoli. Oh yeah, they're not a pushover side, but Napoli on a different level right now. So I'm still going with Napoli. When will Milan play? When will Milan play? Milan will play in February. So the games are going to be in February, and the second round of the games are going to be March 14th. I forgot the first round. I'm glad we didn't get any German teams. Conte is a little bit outdated, and his side can be managed. Yeah, I'm glad too we didn't get any of the, it's if we had gotten Bayern or Madrid or, one of those sides, I got to be honest, guys, we're not at that level yet. Milan has the DNA, but the product isn't quite there yet, and that would have been tough. PSG is beating Bayern. No, my friend, they're not. When is Europa League draw? Oh, wait, is Europa League draw right now too? Because I'll watch that too. I don't care. Before I get to 6:30 a.m. here, before I get to work, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But man, there's too much time. Usually those Champions League draws last so long, the group stage, but this one was nice and quick. They weren't milking the ratings for this one. All right, your opinion on PSG's defense? I don't watch a lot of PSG, but what I can say is I don't really like PSG that much. And the reason why I don't like PSG that much is because I feel like it's quick results kind of thing. You throw the money at the problems. You give Donnarumma 12 million when he doesn't really deserve 12 million. And that's how PSG goes about their business, especially under Leonardo. All the people who used to talk about PSG and say they're a great team, they're so amazingly managed by Leonardo. Guys, I could have done that. You give me 250 million every mercato, I will buy all the top players too. It's easy picks. It doesn't take a lot of scouting to get Hakimi. It doesn't take a lot of scouting to get Neymar, to get Messi, to get Mbappe, to get Donnarumma, Verratti. These are not scoutings. This is just the easiest pick that you're playing. Leonardo was playing FIFA 23 in real life. And those are picks I would have made too. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really like PSG that much, is because it's just throwing money at problems. And I'm glad that they got freaking Bayern Munich, and they're probably going to lose. I know Leonardo's gone. I'm not saying Leonardo's still there. Don't you think our defense is shaky this season? Kalulu Teo only improved. We need to buy a striker, right winger in winter. Tomori this season is crumbling. Ismail is our MVP. Very, very important player. I'll take that too. Yes, Milan is having defensive issues for sure. There's no doubt about that. We have to improve our defensive quality. We probably would do that, make some upgrades in January. Keep in mind, part of Mike Maigna's absence in goal is also the reason why the defense is a little shaky. They're a little nervous. If you watch every single match, there's some type of a reaction that the Milan team gives to Tata Rusciano. Almost every single match. Some type of a negative interaction happens between him and the center backs. And that tells me that, that the defense is just not even feeling the confidence with him there. When is the Europa League draw? I don't know. I hope it's not right now, because if it was, I would have watched that too. But I don't actually know what's going on in the Europa League. And thankfully, as a Milan fan, I can say that I don't know what's going on in the Europa League, because I felt like that was our home for the last 8 years. Derby della Madonnina final. Imagine that. My friend is a huge Tottenham fan, and I told him we're going to face each other for 2 weeks. And he just said, no. Yeah, the thing about Tottenham is they're not in the best form, obviously. We saw yesterday what happened during the match. They really tried there, but hold on. Guys, my memory is really not its best right now, so let me see what happened. Yeah, they did lose yesterday. I was like, let me just see what happened yesterday. Yes, so what happened yesterday was that Liverpool beat Tottenham, and that was at home, so Antonio Conte's under fire. Now, here's what can happen. Conte can give a few bad performances and before the World Cup, I guess, and maybe Daniel Levy at the Spurs looks at other options in coach. Maybe Thomas Tuchel's they bring back. I don't know if Pochettino has a job yet, but who knows who they might bring back. So I don't know. It's debatable, but right now I'd say if all the teams that Milan had option to get, Tottenham was definitely the one that we would have liked to have gone with, and we got him. I feel really good about our chances to advance. That's a Milan fan for sure. I remember the name. Yes, I agree. Rest in peace, Liverpool. Liverpool, rest in peace. Liverpool is now going to be playing Real Madrid again. 2019 Champions League final, where there's so many mistakes made, is going to be happening one more time. So yeah, I feel bad for Liverpool too. But yeah, of Liverpool and Real Madrid, who's your pick? Liverpool has not been playing the worst in the Champions League this season. They haven't been playing the best in the Premier League, but their Champions League form has been pretty decent. Where's my freaking water bottle? All right. Well, we'll do this for another 5-6 minutes till it hits half an hour. All Italian. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. Liverpool or Real Madrid? I really want to know what you guys think. All Italian teams have winnable fixtures. Yeah, let's look at the Italian teams. Sorry, let me do this one more time. There was one article that said, oh, did you guys notice 8 out of 16 Champions League teams are from 8 out of 16 Champions League teams. 8 out of 16 Champions League teams are from Germany and England. I'm like, you might as well just include Italy in there too and just say 11 out of 16 from 3 countries. Why are you removing the one country that has 3 teams too? 3 of the best teams in the history of the game. AC Milan, the second most winners. Inter Milan won it in 2010. Napoli playing lights out. So, but anyways, going through the Italian team's fixtures, Milan, Tottenham, I think we've discussed now. Frankfurt, Napoli, we've also kind of discussed, and I think Napoli goes through. Inter, Porto is definitely the more, probably the most complicated one. Milan, Tottenham is second in difficulty level, I would say. But Inter, the way that they've been playing, they lost yesterday to Juventus 2-0. A little bit of a surprise considering the kind of form that they've been. Once again, questions over Simone Inzaghi's coaching. I don't know why, man. Every time the guy loses, there's questions on his coaching, and he wins like 5 games straight. Everything's fine. But Inter Porto probably is the most, the more complicated one for me. And I'd still give it to Inter just because they have that quality if you look at them on paper. But Portuguese sides are always freaking tricky. And Milan played Porto last season in the Champions League in the group stage. We lost. Did we lose both games? I wasn't watching the Champions League back then. I was traveling. But Porto, I remember we definitely lost one game. And it's not easy. It's not easy playing these teams. Benfica topped the group with PSG in the group. Imagine that if PSG had finished top on goal difference, considering the attack they have, freaking Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, all these guys in up front for them, and they still can't get the right amount of goals. Benfica scores more, or at least gets a better goal difference. And if that wasn't the case, PSG wouldn't have had Bayern, but they have Bayern in the first round. And this is what happened at the end of last season, right? Their management came out and said, PSG is going to go back to its original DNA of what they want to be, which is a respectable side, a humble team. We're not going to be flexing our money as much, throwing money at problems. And I think what they hoped that in return, and then they freaking paid Kylian Mbappe like €1 million a week. So I don't know what that was about. And then they end up getting put against Bayern. So that's pretty lucky, I think. And that's going to be a tough one for them. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Milan almost 1-0 once to Porto and lost, yes. 1-0 and then 1-1 draw. Ashton Naylor, right wing, I say that we might buy Mini Maduke. He's a class player for... Here's the thing. He cost 35 million. My friend, let me tell you something about AC Milan here, right? We don't buy 35 million euro players. We do that once every 10 years. So that's not happening. Milan is going to be scouting hard, finding good deals, and Lord knows what Milan's management's going to do in the winter mercato. But here's what's going to happen once the World Cup comes around. It's going to be a tough one. Which reminds me, guys, I'm going to be covering the World Cup with another channel called Buzz Football throughout the entirety of the World Cup. I will be rebranding. Since a few of you guys are here, I will be rebranding the channel from Milan Corner to Football Corner. So don't get surprised when you see content and you're like, who's this guy? It's the same guy. There's always going to be a Milan Corner. There's going to be a section for Milan content, but that's never going to go away. Are you underestimating Real Madrid options? What are you referring to? Still PSG won with Benfica. I think Man City will not make it to finals. They will lose in semis. Man City are playing Leipzig. They're going to win their first round. I mean, how could they not? Leipzig is a good team, but another team that just throws money at problems. So, especially when they had Ralf Rangnick. I mean, what are we talking about here, guys? Ralf Rangnick, Leonardo sitting in PSG, and they're sitting there as like great creators of the game. Paolo Maldini is a great creator of the game. Look at the budget that he's had. Look at the resources he's had to work with. Look at the fact that Donnarumma wanted 12 million left, and he replaced him with a 15 million option in Mike Maignan, who gets paid 2.5 million a season. You save 10 million a season in salary from not paying Donnarumma that much. That's called being a good leader, being a good manager, good technical director. Don't tell me Ralf Rangnick, a guy who throws money at problems. Don't tell me Leonardo, who throws money at problems, are good technical directors. They're not. Technical directors are people who use scouting to create teams. Look at Benfica. There's a lot, no matter what I say about Portuguese sides, Benfica is a team that is respectable. Obviously, Porto, Benfica, they do make a lot of money in Portugal because they're a couple of the good teams there. But their scouting is ridiculous. These guys find the best players, they nurture the best players, and then they sell them to other teams for a profit. And that's what AC Milan, unfortunately, right now will be for a time being. Until our finances are resolved, we will be that side who scouts the right way, turns it into a profit, and sells the players. But between Leipzig and Man City, easy pick for me, Man City goes through. We got to beat Spurs. My roommate is a Spurs fan. About to be an interesting matchup. Yeah, man, be careful with your roommate. Make sure you sleep with your lights on. When Donnarumma left and we got a better goalkeeper, good riddance. Yes, exactly. And that was all thanks to Paolo Maldini. He never let that get to him. He never let Mino Raiola, considering the fact that he's a new technical director, he never let Mino Raiola, he never let Donnarumma get to him. It was such a power flex where it was like, hey, Donnarumma's asking for 10 million a season. They stood firm on their position, and they set the tempo for the other players. Now, obviously, the whole situation comes up with Rafael Leao and his contract, so we can probably just discuss that for a little bit. The latest news that we're hearing is that Rafael Leao there's going to be a fight basically between Man City, Chelsea, some of the Premier League sides to try and get Rafael Leao on their team. Here's what I think about it right now, guys. At this point in time, as we speak, there's a good chance that Leao leaves Milan. If he's not willing to renew and his wage demands are $9.5 million, which is what I've been hearing, plus Milan has to pay for his fine that he owes to Lille. There's a 20 million fine, not to Lille, sorry, to Sporting CP. There's a 20 million almost fine that has to be paid to Sporting CP for the way he unilaterally ended his contract and moved to Lille. Now, Lille is willing to pay for a part of that contract, for a part of that penalty to Sporting CP, but the rest has to come from the player himself, and it's a lot of money, of course. So there's an expectation and a hope that Milan, in order to keep him, are going to want to, fork over some of that money. And before you guys leave, before I get into that story, guys, make sure to hit the like button, because it really helps the video, it really helps the stream, it really helps the channel in the long run. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. It's a little ask that I ask from you. Now, going back to Leao, yeah, that's the thing. So if Milan's not willing to pay that fine, there's a good chance that Rafael Leao, there's going to be a fight for Leao. And if he doesn't agree on his wages, there's going to be a fight for Leao. Now, Milan's original goal was to get him signed before the start of the World Cup, because they don't want him to, what happens at the World Cup, guys. A lot of the times, remember how James Rodriguez became what he became from his performance for Colombia at the World Cup? Milan has a fear that Rafael Leao might do the same for Portugal. And then suddenly everybody wants him. All the top teams are going to want him because he's performed at the big stage. Now, that can go either way for Milan. If he doesn't perform well, maybe teams will be like, you know what, we're good. We don't need him. So it can go either way. But right now, Maldini wanted to get him signed before. Right now, seeing his requirements, there's a good chance he leaves. Here's what I would say. If we can get north of 120 million for Rafael Leao by making two big teams compete for him, just like Brugge made us pay 35 million, not us, I didn't put $1 in there, but made Milan pay 35 million for Charles de Ketelaere by bringing Leeds into the competition. If Milan can bring two teams into the competition, get over 120 million for Rafael Leao, unfortunately, guys, are closer to 150 million. You got to sell. You have to sell. It's a lot of money. Your team can do it. You can create a big future from the funds of that. So that's what I would say about that. But at the same time, I do hope that Milan is able to find that renewal with Leao. But it's a tough one. All right, guys. Well, there we go. Those are my predictions for today's round of 16. Woke up at 5:45 to get this to you guys in 15 minutes. We were here. They made it happen quick. Usually they drag it out for a long time. They didn't do it today. It would have helped. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Once again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I will be rebranding the channel to become the Football Corner. I'm going to be covering pretty much all the top teams, the top leagues. And I'm going to be bringing more people on the channel as well, just so you guys know. So there's going to be more content coming here at Football Corner with Kush. And yeah, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, like this video, because it helps spread it out to more people. And once again, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Let me just see if you have any other questions. Damn, I just hope Mike gets back quicker. Yes, we hope Mike gets back quicker too. PSG has Mbappe, City has Grealish, Chelsea has Sterling. I don't know if you're ranking them, but those are good teams. Leao still needs to grow. If he leave, he'll play second fiddle. Oh, I see what you mean. He stays, he's a starter. Exactly. Oh, yeah, that's the last point I'll make about Rafael Leao's situation at Milan. So long as, yes, it's going to be Milan focused. Don't worry about that. Yeah, the last thing I'd say about Rafael Leao is at Milan, he will get nurtured. At Milan, under Maldini's leadership and guidance, and if his parents are involved, a lot of the times when the players' parents are involved, they're going to encourage them to make the right move for their career rather than just for the money. So if his parents are involved, as we heard that they might be in the last meeting at Casa Milan, then he probably could stay. I would say to Rafael Leao, my friend, sign a 4-year extension, stay at Milan for 4 more seasons, evolve as a player, By that time, you'll only be 26. You wouldn't even hit your prime. And then if you want to leave, I understand it. You want a new experience. I get it. But by that time, hopefully he gets Milan more success in the Champions League as well. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys have been amazing. And thank you for all your support. Now, how do I end this? All right, I see where it is. As always, guys, Forza Milan, grazie mille, e ciao.